Hello, everyone. Welcome. I welcome everyone. If you're joining, this is a big one for me. This is the very first episode of Tech Program Management Talks, and I've been wanting to launch this series for a while now. So I am so excited that you are here for it with me. For anyone who's new to my page, my name is Dr. Christina Asare. I'm the Chief Program Strategy Officer at Global One Consulting. I've spent over 14 years in enterprise program management, working across healthcare, federal, defense, utilities, and SaaS. I've worked on platforms related to diagnostics, AI, and NLP platforms. I supported health insurance organizations, $15 billion Medicaid expansions. I've done GovCloud work, and I've worked with several organizations, both government, nonprofit, and private organizations. So when I talk about program management today, I'm not talking theory. I'm talking about what I lived in the rooms where these decisions actually got made. So today's topic is one that is showing up in almost every single program I touch right now. And if you're leading, managing, or even supporting a program in any capacity, I promise you this affects you too. We're talking about AI agents, not AI tools or chat bots. I really want to be clear about the distinction right up front because it matters. We're talking about agents, systems that are starting to take on real work inside of your programs, helping you with making decisions, executing tasks, touching your data, your workflows, and your timelines. So here's a question I want us to think about together this evening. And I want you to actually think about this. Don't let it pass you by. Are you ready to manage them? Are you ready to manage AI agents, to walk alongside with them? Let's say it because it's not a person. They say it is a system. Because here's the truth, a lot of us are adopting the technology faster than we're building the muscle to manage it. And that gap, that's what we're going to talk about today. So I hope that you are ready. So let me walk you through exactly what we're covering today. So you know what to expect and you can follow along. And honestly, so you can hold me accountable to actually covering it all. Number one, we're going to talk about why this topic matters right now, not tomorrow or next year. It matters right now. Number two, we're going to talk about a shift that is happening and how leaders need to think about AI. This is a mindset shift, and I think it is the most important part of the conversation. Number three, we're going to talk about something I call the governance gap. And this is where I see most organizations, frankly, falling short. Number four, I'm going to give you a framework, something you can actually take back to your program on Monday morning and you can start using it. I don't do theory without applications. That's not how I operate as a executive leader. Number five, we're going to talk about why so many AI pilots stall out after that initial proof of concept. If you have ever watched a pilot lose momentum and completely dwindle in your organization, this section is going to be important for you. And finally, number six, I'm going to leave you with one clear action. Not 10 things, not a homework package, one specific thing you can do this week or this upcoming week. So let's get into it. Let's start here. For the last couple of years, if I'm honest, the AI conversation inside most organizations, including a lot of organizations I consult with, has really just been about picking up use cases. Which process do we automate? Are some of the discussions we're having? Which tool do we buy? Which vendor do we bring in? That has been 90% of the conversation in boardrooms and in PMO meetings. And look, that conversation has its place. We needed to go through that phase, but I'm here to tell you that the conversation is not over. The real question now is a different one. It's a bigger one. However, we can't forget the previous conversations that we had. Is still important. It's not which use cases we can pursue. It's what changes when AI becomes embedded in the way work actually gets done. Say that with me in your head one more time because I really want this to land. What changes when AI becomes embedded in the way work actually gets done? That's not a technology question anymore. It's a program question. It's a change management question. And this reframes AI native delivery as a program and change management matter, not simply a technology rollout. This distinction is important because it changes who should be leading this conversation in your organization. It's not just IT anymore. It's not just the innovative team. This belongs at the program and portfolio level. And honestly, it belongs with you as a technology leader. So now let me give you a number because I know some of you like data as much as I do. Gartner is forecasting that 30% of Gen AI initiatives will be abandoned after proof of concept. And here's what I really want you to hear. In my experience, walking through these enterprise environments, it is rarely because the technology itself failed. The model works, and so do the tools. It's because the program around technology wasn't ready. No one thought through governance or ownership, and no one thought through what happens when the agent hits something it wasn't trained for. So that's why we're here today. This is why it's an important topic for us to discuss today. Just keep that number in your head, 30%. Let me show you exactly what this shift looks like because I think it's easiest when you see it side by side. On one side, you have the old questions. Which AI use case should we pursue? Now, I want you to notice something about that question. It's a technology selection question. It lives in a vendor evaluation spreadsheet somewhere on someone's desktop or laptop. It's a question that gets answered in a procurement meeting. On the other side, you have the new question. What changes when AI is embedded in delivery? This is a program and change management question. It doesn't live in a spreadsheet. It lives in how your team actually operates day to day and how decisions get made. It lives in who is accountable when something goes wrong, and something will go wrong eventually. That's just the nature of any system. So I say this because I want to see every leader and every team to succeed. If your organization is still only asking the first question, which use cases should we pursue? Quite frankly, you're behind. I don't say that to discourage you. I say it because I want to give you the information you need to catch up quickly. The organizations that are actually getting real value out of AI right now, the ones I see thriving, they are asking the second question: what changes? not what do we buy. So take a moment. I want you to actually reflect on this while I'm talking. Which question is your organization asking right now? Be honest with yourself. There's no shame in it if it's the first question. Most organizations are still there, but you need to know where you stand so you can move forward. Okay, so this is the next part. This is really the heart of what I want to leave with you today. So I want you locked in with me for the next few minutes. Here's the core idea, and I want you to write this down if you're taking notes. The gap between a cool demo and a trusted operator is the governance work stream. That's it. That's the whole gap right there in one sentence. Think about the last AI demo you sat through. Maybe it was internal, maybe it was a vendor pitch. It probably looked amazing, right? Clean interface, faster responses. It handled the happy path beautifully. But a demo is not a deployment. A demo is not a program running in production with real stakes attached to it. So let me walk you through the two ways I see organizations treating AI right now, because I think you will recognize one of these immediately in your own organization. The first way, I call this the plug and view. The thinking here is it just runs the task. Plug it in, let it run, move on to the next thing. There's no ownership aside or monitoring in place or defined escalation path when something doesn't go as expected. And here's the thing about the plug and view, it looks fine, right? Right up until the moment it doesn't. And then no one in the room knows who is actually responsible for what just happened. The second way, I call this the workforce view. Let's write this down. The workforce view. Here, the thinking is completely different. Is it a team member? It gets trained, it gets supervised, measured just like any other person on your program would be. Now, let me ask you something. I have seen something firsthand over and over again across different industries and organizations. What have you experienced in the organizations that you've worked for? Teams that treat agents as simple plugins, they quickly discover that the real complexity of the business lives in the exceptions, not in the easy stuff. The AI agent is going to handle the easy 90% of the work just fine, probably better and maybe faster than a person would. It's that other 10%, the edge cases, the judgment calls, the situations no one anticipated. That's where things fall apart if no one is actually watching, which means these AI agents still need human oversight. And I want to be really direct with you here because this is a leadership conversation. Winners treat AI agents like a new workforce class. That is the mindset I want every single one of you to walk away with today. It's not just a tool, it's a workforce class. Say it with me, a workforce class. Let's take a look at this practical framework. Okay, so now the question everyone is probably asking in their head right now. All right, Dr. Asare, that sounds good, but how do I actually do this? I hear you. And I promise you, at the top of this session, I don't do theory without application. So here's a simple 3-part framework you can take with you today. The whole idea is this: manage AI agents the exact same way you would manage any other type of tool, resource on your program. That's the mental model. Let's break it into three parts. You're training it. Number one, train. This means prompt design and workflow design. So the agent actually knows the job and knows its boundaries. Think about this the same way you would think of onboarding a new hire. I meant to add people because we do not call people resources. People are not resources. You wouldn't hand a new employee the keys and walk away, right? You would train them. It's the same thing here. So let's say that again. When you're managing an AI agent, think of it as a tool, think of it as a resource, or as a new employee to train, though AI agents are not equal to humans. Just want to clarify that. I'm just giving you an example. Number two, supervise. This means putting controls and monitoring in place so that exceptions get caught early before they ever have the chance to become full blown incidents. Again, think about how you will manage any team's work in progress. You can check in, you can review it, you can catch things before they snowball. Number three, measure. This means performance management through clear value and quality KPIs. Just like you would run a performance review with a person on your team, you need to be running a performance review, so to speak, on your AI agent. Is it actually delivering value? Is the quality where it needs to be? Train, supervise, measure it. Train, supervise, measure it. It's just that simple. It's not complicated. But it does require intention. It requires someone to actually sit down and own it, right? You need to have an actual owner. That's the difference between managing an AI agent and a person. We don't own people. We will own agents. Who is going to be responsible for training, supervising, and measuring the work of the AI agent? Let's keep moving forward. Now, let's talk about something a lot of you probably experienced firsthand. And if you ever had, I want you to add a comment in the chat because I know I'm not the only one who has seen this. Why do so many pilots never make it past the initial proof of concept? Why do they stall out? Because I think this is actually where most of us, myself included, in different seasons of my career, can improve immediately. Starting this week, there are three gaps that show up again and again across industries, their companies, and across the type of AI initiatives. So let me walk you through all three. The first gap is data readiness. The information that the AI agent needs to do its job isn't clean, connected, or trustworthy enough to actually act on it. And we all know the old saying, garbage in, garbage out. This principle did not go away just because we added AI into the mix. If anything, it matters more now because the AI agent is going to act on that bad data and at a greater scale than a human would ever know. We have to make sure that we have quality data. Be prepared. Data readiness is the information the agent needs. It needs clean data that's connected and trustworthy enough to act on. The second gap is risk controls. This means there are no defined guardrails for what the agent is actually allowed to decide on versus what absolutely must escalate to a real person. And without that clear line, you are essentially flying blind. there has to be risk controls in place. You don't know what you don't know, and that is a dangerous place to operate a program from. And the third gap is measurable value. This is a gap. This means there's no baselines established, there's no KPIs in place. So, literally, no one in the organization can prove that it's actually working. And here's the practical reality of that. If you can't prove that something is working, it becomes very difficult to go back and ask for the budget to scale it. I've sat down in those budget conversations. The team that comes in with clear metrics are the ones who get funded for phase two. So here's the bottom line on this section, and I really want this to stick with you. Scaling fails when organizations skip these important concepts. It is rarely the AI itself that fails. It is almost always the program that was built or not built around it. So here's what I actually want you to do this week. Please, this upcoming week. Not when things calm down, not next week, because things are never going to calm down. We all know that. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. Being productive is great. So choose to make this change. I want you to pick one AI agent that is already running somewhere in your program right now. Just one. You can do that on Monday, not on the weekend. Don't try to boil the ocean and audit everything at once. That's how people give up before they even get started. Just one. I want you to write down the answer to 3 questions. Who trains it? Who supervises it? And which KPI proves that it's actually delivering value? Now, if you can answer all 3 of those clearly right now off the top of your head, congratulations. You are already in great shape. You are ahead of a lot of organizations that I work with. But if you cannot answer all 3, and if I'm honest, most people watching this right now probably can't answer all 3. That is your governance gap. And it's good that you know that there's a gap that exists. This is the first step. And I want you to hear me on this. It's okay. It is not a failure. Now you actually know where to start. And this clarity alone puts you ahead of where you were when we first started together. I want to thank you so much for spending time with me today for the very first episode of Tech Program Management Talks. This means a lot to me, and I hope it gave you some insight that you can walk away with and use it. For anyone who's new here, I'm Dr. Christina Asare. I'm a strategist and executor, builder, and thought leader. My philosophy and the way I operate every single day is strategy today, impact tomorrow, lead with intention. I bring together strategy, execution, and impact across everything I do, whether that's through Global One Consulting or my newsletter, Voice and Vision. And I would love for you to join me on that journey going forth. If today's conversation was helpful to you, do me a favor, drop a comment below and let me know which AI agents you're going to start with this week. I read every single comment and I would love to hear what you're working on through this program. Make sure you subscribe. This has been Tech Program Management Talks, episode 1. I will see you on the next one. Take care, everyone.